Okay, and welcome back, and hopefully everybody got their music working. So in this tutorial we are going to think about how the player can lose the game. Because at the moment it's quite fun to play, but there's no way of them losing the game. So we're going to do this by using the bomb sprite that we had brought into the game right at the beginning. So when the user clicks on a bomb, then the game finishes, and then perhaps we could tell them what their score was. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to load in a sound. We've already loaded the sprite, so we're going to load in a sound that will play when the user accidentally clicks on a bomb. So remember that we need to go up to the sound icon up the top here, and we're going to obviously use the same naming convention, snd underscore, and we'll call this bomb. Then we're going to load a sound. Hopefully it will remember the same location, and I'm going to pick the explosion here, and then I'm going to press open. It's just a normal sound, it's not a background sound. We do want to preload it, and we're going to click OK. Now we haven't got an object for the bomb, so that's the next thing we need to create. So many of you will remember, to create an object we go up to the blue ball icon, click on that, and then we need to name it first of all obj underscore bomb. This time we do want to add a sprite because we need to be able to see it in the game, so we add the bomb sprite to it. And what we need to do now is think about what events that we're going to add and what actions. So the first event that I always try and think of is, what do we want the bomb to do when the game loads? Now it'd be very easy if we just kept the bomb in one location, so it didn't move. So we want the bomb to move around into different places every time it loads. So I'm going to add an event, and many of you will have guessed it, the create event. So when the game loads, what action do we want to occur? Well, I'm going to have a jump to random action, which is this one over here, and I'm going to pull that into the actions part here. Everything is fine here, it's literally just going to jump somewhere that the computer comes up with onto the screen. So it will always be located in a different part of the game every time the game loads. The next event that we want to think about is, what do we want to happen when the user or the player of the game clicks on the bomb? So what event would actually we be using here? So if we have a look at the different events that we've got, remember we're using the mouse to control this game, so we're going to be looking under the mouse event, and of course they're going to be clicking on the fruit using the left mouse button, so they're not going to be changing it at all, so it will be the left mouse button here. So when they use the left mouse button and click on the object bomb, what actions do we want to occur? Well, one of the actions we want to occur is, of course, we want to play that sound we've just loaded in. So we're going to have a look. It's not in the move tab. We'll look in the main one. It is in the main one tab, so we'll just drag that now into here. So when the left mouse button clicks on the object bomb, what sound do we want to play? Well, we want to do the sound of the bomb, and we don't want it to loop, so we leave that as false. If we turn that to true now, it would, once they've clicked on it once, it would just continue forever and ever and ever until the game was finished, and we don't want that to happen. We just want it to play once and stop. Okay, so we leave that as false and we click OK. Now we're going to stay here on the left mouse button event, and we want to do some other things, because of course if they do click on the bomb, the game is going to end. So there's a few things to look at here. So we've got play sound. Now what we do want to have is, if it does happen, we want it to pause for a few moments. So we don't want it to go straight into the next action, and then to do that we're going to go into the main 2 tab, and you can see here there's a timing section. We can set alarm, which we'll look at another time, but this one here is called sleep. It's got the Z's on it, so we can actually tell the computer to sleep for a matter of seconds. So if 1,000 milliseconds there would be fine, and then we do want it to come back, so we'll click OK there. We don't need to change anything, so we can sleep it for a few moments. Then what we want to happen after that little pause, we want the scoreboard to come up to tell them what their score was, and I'm going to put a highest scoreboard up. So if I go into the score tab on the right hand side here, you can see that we've used these before. We've set a score, we can test a score, we can draw a score, but here we're going to show high score. Drag that across. Now in the show high score window, this will be a table that will appear. We can give it a background, we can show or not show borders, we can change the colors, we can change the fonts. It's completely up to you on how you want to make it look. So you can change some of those settings if you like. When you've done that, press OK. So let's just take a recap. When the left mouse button clicks onto the object bomb, we're going to play the explosion sound. We're going to wait 1,000 milliseconds. We're going to then show a high score table. And then, of course, once they've had a look at that, we want something to happen. Well, we want to restart the game. So I've gone back into my main 2 tab, and down here you can see there's some controls for the game. This first one is restart the game. This one is end the game. So you could have either of these really, but I'm going to just go right back to the beginning after they've finished on the high score table, the restart game. And that's basically set up the object bomb and all of the events and actions that will take place. Last thing to do in this tutorial is to show you now to add the object bomb to the room. So I'm going to click OK here. I've got my room open still in the background. If you haven't, you just go to your rooms folder here and double click on the room. Then of course I want to make sure I'm on object bomb by clicking here. If you don't click here, you can actually select the objects down here as well. So I'm on object bomb, and I'm just going to add 2 instances of the bomb anywhere in my room, because remember we had that create event which will actually randomize their locations anyway. I'm going to hit the save button now, and then I'm going to run my game to see if it's working. So I'm just going to press run there. You can see it's saving my executable. As it loads, okay, you can see that my bombs have put in a random location. Now if I were to click on one of those now, I can see that I've got no points there. Nobody's done it previously. And I can just close that and the game restarts, and they've jumped to a new location now. Have a go at adding those bombs and then taking a screenshot and adding it to your workbook now, please.